Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Hey, this is Mike with the QuiverCast, brought to you by QuiverBuilder.com, an online community where you buy, sell, and surf for your next magic board. Hello, everybody. This is Mike here with the QuiverCast, and our special guest today is TJ. And your last name is?
Metcalf.
Metcalf. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Okay. And you said that, I said it correctly, Metcalf?
Yeah.
All right. So, how you doing?
Good.
Good. TJ, where are you from?
I'm from Oahu.
Oahu.
Born and raised in Oahu. Yeah.
Okay. We're at the island.
East side, Kailua.
Kailua.
Yeah.
So, when did you start surfing?
Pretty young. I used to live like almost in Waikiki.
Okay.
Up in the mountains above Waikiki.
All right.
And like water wings in front of the dad's surfboard.
Okay.
I do remember little bits and pieces of that, but
So you're super young in the water.
yeah, pretty young, I'd say. You couldn't swim yet, at least because the water wings, but
Okay.
yeah.
So your dad surfed?
Yep.
Or-
Yep.
So you have a surfing family, or just your dad, or what's up with that?
So my dad grew up in Hawaii as well.
Okay.
But his parents weren't like surfers or anything. But he had two brothers.
Okay.
And he started surfing with his older brother in Waikiki.
And what's their history? Like, were they started young, or are they kind of?
Yeah, I'd say probably like middle school-ish.
Okay.
They were really big into swimming, like water polo and swimming.
Oh, strong swimmers then.
Yeah, they went to Punahou.
Okay.
And which is really close to Waikiki. So at that time, they would just, go and surf Waikiki. So yeah, they were surfers growing up.
Okay. So, what was your local break you were surfing most of the time? When you were grown.
When I actually started surfing,
Where did you start? What was your first wave? Let's go back there.
it was definitely Waikiki, but I can't really say I remember.
Okay. So first wave you remember then?
I was probably, closer to like 10 or so. Mm-hmm. When I would actually start catching waves by myself.
Yeah.
There's this place on the south side called Barber's Point.
All right.
It's like past. It's more.
Sandy Beach.
It's like more towards the airport,
Okay.
but it's like not in like the main town, like where Waikiki and stuff is. It's more west,
Okay.
but it's like pretty flat, like big beach.
Sand bottom? Or?
Yeah, sand and rock, but it would break way outside and like trickle in. So like you'd have different reforms and stuff. Pretty
nice.
friendly for like families and stuff.
Okay.
But we used to go out there all the time.
So that was like the family go-to wave?
Yeah.
Tell us how'd you feel in that first wave you caught? Were you on longboard? Shortboard? Do you remember?
Yeah, we had like a couple like hand-me-down like shortboards, like anywhere from like, like a 5'8" to like a 6'6" or something.
Okay.
Anything we could really like.
There's enough float for you.
Yeah, it's like we weren't really like 11 years old and on a super high performance board that
Right.
was made for you. But yeah, so at that point, I think I was small enough to where it really didn't matter.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just catch waves on whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like catch the whitewash, stand up, kind of figure out which way you're gonna go. You'd probably could go left or right a couple times, but
Kind of like, it's almost like Huntington kind of, where you're just kind of...
yeah, but it didn't really have that like
push?
like there was sand, but there's also rock, so it didn't really like have like a hole in the middle,
Okay.
Or like it didn't
So
really,
it just kind of rolled all the way through.
it didn't really change that much.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That'd
so
be fun.
it'd roll all the way through, but different areas of the beach would have their, like this spot has like it builds up more. That's where all the shortboarders would maybe when the waves are good, or so yeah, it was kind of more like an open playing field.
Okay. So then where did that progress to? So at what point were you getting good enough to maybe go to some of the other breaks?
Well, so like the east side where I'm from is like Kailua itself doesn't really have that good of surf. Mm-hmm. unless you get like some really big wrap from the north, because it has a lot of outer reefs. The whole east side is like a bunch of outer reefs. But Kailua itself, Kailua Beach had shore break, but it only get like really like rideable when there was some significant storm or like a lot of onshore wind. So that's when I really started progressing. There's like a local contest that all the kids would do, and that was my first contest, and that's kind of when I started like liking the progressiveness of surfing. So not just like hopping on like a
in a random board.
Yeah, just actually like trying to like maneuver and be better. And that was probably like 12, 13, 14.
All right.
But I still didn't really do that many contests. It's like I wasn't doing like the NSSAs or the local ones that you would do like every weekend. I just did some local ones every like
whenever they popped up, kind of thing?
Like 2 or 3 a year. The ones that are always reoccurring, same place, same time of year, that kind of thing.
So in between, were you trying to progress, like get better? At this point, were you like stoked on surfing?
Yeah, I do remember my dad bought me a Costco board.
Okay.
It wasn't a Wave Storm, but it was like one of those Realm boards.
Oh yeah, the Tom Curran thing.
Yeah, so it was like a mini tanker.
Okay.
And I remember riding that thing and then seeing like a couple of my friends like on like actual shortboards and being like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when it clicked. And then I quit soccer. And I was homeschooled at that time after 6th grade. So I kind of was like, I don't want to play organized sports. I just want to surf. And it wasn't even to like, oh, I want to do contests or like be a pro surfer. It's just like on the weekends, I don't want to go to the soccer field.
Yeah, you don't want to be sweating your ass off.
No, I want to go to the beach.
Yeah,
and I want to surf. But yeah, a lot of like Hawaii is really weird. Like you could go surf all these different waves year round, and like if the east side wasn't good, you drive 20 minutes to the other side, like Sandy Beach, and there'd be waves, or you take the trek an hour drive North Shore. There's waves. Yeah.
So now where's your go-to spot? Now you're getting better. I don't know how old you are.
I'd still surf east side the most. Like when I started driving, like 16, I'd go to Sandy's like after
Sandy's kind of a wonky, weird wave, right?
It's not like the best wave, like especially if you're from California and you go there, you're like, what kind of break is this?
It has this,
it changes all the time. There's a lot of wind, but usually there's always something to ride. So I'd surf there.
And what's the bodyboarding like? There's a lot of bodyboards there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shore break.
Okay. Just a little side note, sorry.
Yeah, but so there'd be some good waves there, and it's actually kind of like there's some gnarly waves there too. Super shallow reef. So there's waves all up and down that zone. With the consistent trades that were always happening, there'd always be something. And then a couple, like, I don't know if you heard of Makapu Beach Park.
No.
It's like
you can tell us about it.
It's a strictly bodyboarding and body surfing beach.
Really? Regulated?
Like during the day.
Okay.
So like we'd either go surf it before 9 o'clock when the lifeguards got there, or after 5 when the lifeguards left.
Okay.
And
kind of like black ball here.
Yeah, for sure. So it would get good. It's not like a perfect wave either, but it has its days.
Yeah.
And then there's a marine base, Kaneohe Marine Base, which is right outside Kailua, and that wave is probably the best.
Could you get on base to do it?
Yeah, we find our ways, either like
you knew somebody,
have a military friend, or like we've even done like the whole like getting a bowling pass or golf pass, like. But those things are like sketchy. We got in trouble a couple times, But
was it worth it? Were the waves firing?
Yeah, like I never got arrested, but like my dad used to have one, and he almost got arrested. But luckily we saw like somebody we knew on the beach who was military, and he like vouched, and like. But it kind of over the years they changed the rules. You get like different people in charge.
Yeah.
But that wave was the best because it was on the east side, but it was facing north.
Okay.
So you get all the north swells. So in the winter it'd be really consistent, and then when the wind would die, you get really good waves and not a lot of people because it's restricted. You can't. Not most people can't get on. So I mean, that's really, I just would try to get on there anytime I
So
could.
describe that way as like on a reef and it's all
Yeah,
on a
so-
good day. Tell us what the good day's like there.
So there's a couple breaks on the base. On the northern side, you'd have Pyramid Rock, which is basically all sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you head the other way, it's called North Beach, and that was a mixture of sand and rock. Pyramids would get more barrely, and the North Beach would be more rippable, like more defined peaks, whereas Pyramids is like more like beach break. So the cleaner the winds were, the better it'd be at Pyramids, and on the daily it'd probably be North Beach because it's a reef.
Okay.
But yeah, there's ways all up and down there.
Yeah, so that's what that rad thing about an island. You just drive around the island.
Yeah.
There's someone's gonna have waves.
Yeah, and there's a lot more waves up and down the east side that I won't really talk about, but most of the time it's not that appealing to most people because it's super far paddle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of onshore wind.
You ever had any sketchy situations out there?
Yeah, there's a lot of sharks. Like
Have you seen them?
I've seen some sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily there is a good amount of food.
Okay.
There's a good amount of turtles, and seals, but yeah, that's where I'm from, east side.
Okay. So then you start venturing like further around the island, like into town?
Yeah,
South Swells and
once
stuff?
I started driving myself, I'd go anywhere the waves were.
Okay.
And
so how would you know? Call your buddies or?
Yeah, I did have a couple buddies who lived North Shore, a couple buddies who lived South Shore. We'd check like the local surf line thing called Surf News Network and
Okay.
see where it was good and go from there. But basically it was North Shore in the winter, like V-Land, Rocky Point, log cabins, east side in the summer or when the winds were good in the winter, and then like bowls or
Is that Kaiser you're talking about? What's bowls?
yeah, Almoana bowls.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
And so there's, but the thing with Hawaii, there's tons of spots,
Okay.
different swells, different winds.
Who were you surfing with?
I have a little brother.
Okay.
He's like 4 years younger than me, but we were like pretty close.
Okay.
I'd surf with him, and then just like a couple buddies I met along the way. I've had a pretty big friend group, different friends all over the place.
Okay.
But I was homeschooled, so like I didn't have any like as many like school friends.
Yeah.
But I just like
beach buddies.
Yeah, like I'd meet people surfing like in the contests or like when I was in school, I'd keep in touch with a couple people I knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite wave on the North Shore?
When it's good, I'd say like log cabins is probably my favorite.
More rippable?
It's just, that wave is like more barreling, like
really?
dumpy, sketchy.
Okay.
I love Rocky Point, but it usually was more crowded.
All right.
And not always, but Rocky Point probably was the most consistent, but log cabins is definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, what about like the big names?
Yeah, I've surfed pipe, but not like, I wasn't like always out there.
Okay.
It's kind of intimidating.
Is it?
The crowd, like.
Okay, so describe a good day at pipe that you're paddling out that's worth even going out.
Yeah, on the scales, you'd probably see like 6 to 8
Okay.
on the bigger side.
Yeah.
4 to 6 on the smaller side.
Okay. But just the lineup's just so heavy with people?
Yeah, it's just like the lineup is crowded, and then like if you've ever been out in pipe, like when the sets are coming, like the water draws out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a lot of like weirdness. You don't feel that like hardly anywhere else.
Okay.
Lots of power in the water.
So what was your motivation to even paddle out then?
Just to
to get
barreled.
to go?
Yeah, just to get barreled.
And you're a goofy foot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wanted that love.
Yeah, for sure. I always wanted to be in the more gnarly surf.
Okay. So you enjoy that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like, I would love to be way better out at or have experienced better pipe or bigger pipe. It gets pretty gnarly, but and a lot of my friends who I surf with weren't exactly the ones who were out there either. Mm-hmm. But I would say that it's definitely a gnarly wave.
Okay. What about Sunset?
Sunset's
a lot of water moving.
Yeah, it's honestly not the most appealing wave.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, especially when it's big, to get out there and they stay in the position. Because like if you're riding like a 6'6", like for somebody who's not a pro, you gotta be in the right spot, right time. Even if you are a pro, you can watch the contest and see it's so like waves all over the place. So I surfed Sunset a couple times. Like
not your waves, good?
No, I mean I'd surf it. You know, like there's like an inside reef called Val's Reef.
Yeah, Val's.
Like during the summer, they get some swells. Like,
oh, really?
It's a fun wave, but it's also kind of sketchy. But yeah, Sunset's here and there. I've surfed it a handful of times, but it's not like the most appealing wave all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question. So how much you get in the water nowadays? I know you got an 8 to 5, so.
Yeah, I mean, if it's good, I'll surf. You know, I'll surf 5 days a week.
Okay.
But I'm up early, and I'll check it. If it looks fun, I'll do it. If I'm busy at work and if it looks okay, I'll probably just go into work early. And just,
okay.
Yeah. But like.
So anyway, if you go to work to knock out work.
Yeah.
When the waves suck, does that free up your time when the waves?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because like we do work in surfboard. Like I work in surfboards, but it's like. Work does have to get done.
Okay.
So
you always have a lot of work.
I'm not like, I can just go skip and go surf if the waves are good. But if I see something's happening, I will try, you know. But usually it's before 9 and after 5.
Okay.
But I will surf.
Like the rest of the slave labor out there.
But luckily work is close to the waves and home is close to the waves. So
cool.
You can make it work.
Yeah, for sure. And let's go back to that. So now you're in Hawaii. How'd you end up in California?
So I was homeschooled and graduated from high school. At that time, part of my high school career towards the end was taking classes at a community college.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just like went right into college pretty much.
How old are you? Are you 17, 18?
Yeah, 18.
Okay. 18.
So I just started doing more community college classes.
All right.
And I ended up staying in Hawaii for the first 2 years of college. Mm-hmm. And then I transferred and went to Point Loma, Nazarene.
Okay, cool.
So that was like my first like non-living in Hawaii experience.
Is that the first time you surfed outside of Hawaii?
I surfed Huntington a couple times.
All right.
Just like not for contests or anything, but yeah, just visiting.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the real like. Now I'm surfing in a wetsuit every day.
Okay, so now you're in Point Loma, San Diego.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's how I got up here.
Describe the difference.
It wasn't so bad, but like besides like the water being colder and like there's more seaweed.
Okay.
But I mean the wetsuits are good nowadays. Like it wasn't too hard. The booties part if the water gets really cold, that was a first.
Yeah.
But waves are super fun down there. There's a lot of good waves. But I mean surfing up here in general is different. Like you can't just toss on your board shorts and.
Yeah. Well, in July it was August again.
Yeah. But like the whole process of surfing in the cold.
You gotta actually think about it a little bit.
Yeah, or like in Hawaii, if it looked junk, like we just like hop in the water at Sandy's and go body surf.
Yeah.
But if it's junk here, you're probably not hopping in the water at all.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went to school for 2 years at Point Loma, finished up, and then I went back home for a little bit. But I made like all my really good friends in college up here. I loved San Diego, so I came back up and I got a job at Nixon Watches.
Oh, nice.
And that was like my first introduction to like the whole surfboard or like the surfing industry.
Were you like shocked by it? I mean,
yeah,
you sound like you were kind of.
I mean, I thought it was like
the
coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
and it definitely was. Like at least there was a lot of perks when I first got there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nixon would take us to Mammoth, and there'd be like like industry parties, and everybody seemed to know everybody, and then stuff started changing, and like the whole industry went through like some changes with like money, and Like,
Can you describe any of that, or you don't want
well,
to?
I mean, just like
Tell us about it.
like over the span of my not short, but like 2 years at Nixon.
Okay.
He, started from like the company like taking you to like to Mammoth and like the budget bigger, and then all of a sudden you're not having that excess of perks.
Okay, I gotcha.
And things were starting to change, like more corporate, more.
Okay, so you started in Nixon. Were there a lot of surfers working there then?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of surfers, a lot of skaters, but there also was a lot of people who weren't.
Okay, and that's my question.
Yeah, but Nixon is also like a more broad kind of part of the company.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's applicable to a lot of places.
True.
Lots of surfers, lots of not. But I mean, it was a great step in the door.
Okay.
I just like started at the bottom.
Yep.
Like you didn't need a college degree or anything.
Okay.
And then I mean, I'm from Hawaii. I didn't know John Pyzel or anything when I lived there, but I did know his daughter through some mutual friends, and she ended up coming up to California with a friend of mine, and they said, "Hey, my parents are looking for somebody in Oceanside."
Just randomly over a conversation, she said this?
Well, I picked her up from the airport with my other
buddy?
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
and then just started like
Just
talking,
chit-chatting.
like, "Oh, like what are you doing?" Like, I live at Oceanside, I work in Nixon, and then she mentioned they needed somebody, and I wasn't really even thinking about like leaving Nixon because I thought like that whole industry was like the shit.
Yeah.
But I left and I went, and it's probably one of the better things I've done.
All right, I want to dissect that a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Okay. You're at Nixon. It's just a random conversation which got you where you are today?
I think I was dropping her off. I was dropping her off at a friend's house, a family friend's house, and that family friend owns Arctic Foam.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't know. It's probably just like popped up somewhere. She's like, "Oh,
That's
like
rad.
you surf? Like my parents are actually looking for somebody."
Dude.
Yeah, so it's kind of sick. And I kind of I think they were looking for somebody really quick because the person who hired me was the one who was leaving. And so I kind of came on and as like a surf rep.
Okay.
So I repped Surf Ride. I repped a couple other shops in the local area, and like I went up to Santa Barbara too.
And at this point, you already left Nixon?
Yeah, so they were just looking for like an in-house rep to do a couple stores, and then like help out with their orders.
And they're shipping from Hawaii to here?
No, they had a factory
they
here,
do?
but it's
Okay.
very small compared to what it is now.
Okay.
So like now we have like a lot of people working for us, but back then it was like me and like 2 other people.
Okay.
So I came on and started doing that. And then now I don't rep at all. I just work at managing the factory.
Okay, so that's your job?
The production, yeah.
Okay.
Production and distribution.
So how did you, were those learned, or did you already kind of have an idea?
When I lived in Hawaii, I was a sub rep for my dad, but he sold like hardware goods, like caulking and like roofing products.
So you do sales?
Yeah, well, I wasn't really even that much of the sales, but I did have some experience with repping, and at least like customer service.
Okay, and dealing with people and everything?
Yeah, so I kind of knew that, but surfboards are a little bit different for sure.
Surfers are a little different?
Yeah, but and at that point I was, I did have some experience, but I definitely learned a lot, like coming into that.
Okay.
But yeah, I did that for a little bit. And then over the years, like with John winning his world title, I came in like right before John won his first world title.
And then that's when Pyzel kind of
It started really bumping up for sure. And then from there, it's just been kind of the last 4 years have been like a whirlwind of growth and craziness.
So 4 years you're saying, but what about the last, 18 months since COVID, or 12 months, 13 months?
Yeah, we have been really, really busy.
So you guys are solid already.
Yeah, we were busy We were busy, like, all of 2019 but not to the level we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like back then, we'd get orders and we'd start them within like a week. So we were just basically relying on the constant flow of orders gradually coming in. But like now everybody's probably dealing with the same stuff, like chemistry and everybody around this area is like, we're working on orders that were placed like at the beginning of this year.
Oh crap.
And and on top of that, we're dealing with custom orders. Shops are just ordering boards for their rack.
Let's break some of that down.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
How many, well, I don't know if you're allowed to say, but how many boards are you putting out here, let's say in a month?
We probably go through anywhere between 100 and 150 boards a week.
A week, okay. So you're looking at 500, 600 plus a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And that's like I have my brother cuts boards one shift a day throughout the main part of the week, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And we have another guy who cuts Monday through Friday too. So we have 2 shifts a day.
Wow.
Morning and evening.
You're just going.
But right now the machine's not running because of the power.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are constantly, and then we also have, I don't know if you know Jason. He has a son who surfs, but he cuts boards for us too.
Okay.
So we have.
So you guys are just employing a lot of people.
Yeah. So we outsource cuts to him, and he supplies us cuts, and then we have our own machine, which does the majority of the cuts.
Okay.
And then we have a couple shapers. Wally is one of them.
Yep.
Doug.
Wally was on the podcast.
Yeah. Marlon, who just came in, and then MB owns the glass shop, who does all our boards.
Okay.
MB and his partner DJ.
Okay.
And they are also part of the crew. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is like, okay. So how are they getting their shapes? Is John Pyzel?
Yeah. So John.
He's doing the shaping out of Hawaii.
So John.
And working with John and so forth.
Yeah. So John is the mastermind, and he has all his designs.
Okay.
And then, so Hawaii and California are under the same umbrella.
Yep.
Hawaii has their own production. We have our own production. Essentially the boards are, they're files, and we cut them on the machines. But all the guys shape boards here, and John shapes boards in Hawaii. And then when he comes out, he'll work with us here too. But we're constantly working together.
Yeah.
So 2 separate factories, but under the same umbrella.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any more of like Pyzel?
Yeah, there's licensees around the globe, just
Gotcha.
like other companies would, like Europe,
Okay.
Indonesia.
But they're all still getting their shapes from Pyzel.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I never understood. So things are a lot different than they used to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, each factory, whether it's it has their own machines,
Right.
and doing their own shapes, it's just the designs of
Our
Pyzel.
own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole elaborate process.
How often are you talking to him? Do you talk to him at all?
Yeah, a couple times a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's staying in touch with you?
Yeah.
Anything else about that you want to talk about? Well, the COVID is kind of just tore it up, right?
It was really weird at first.
What does that mean?
Because the whole shutdown happened, so we weren't really sure if production would continue. Would they lock us out? Places were closing, at least the doors open. So for a while, technically we weren't allowed to work. And so
shut the blinds.
So we tried to operate at a point where because people have already paid for surfboards,
Yeah.
and
They want their stuff.
so at first it was kind of ambiguous, and then it kind of went on from there. It's like I would stay home because I could just work on the computer,
Yeah, gotcha.
and then we'd have a guy in here cutting, and I just communicate with him.
Yeah, if you're 6 feet away, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but we definitely played it a little bit different, but we tried to do as much as we could to keep the ball rolling.
Okay.
So I think, was it March last year?
I think it was March last year. Yeah.
March was pretty weird. If you look at our sales, and it dipped just
Right.
because
Well,
everybody
the
was
shops were closed.
Yeah,
everything was
so
closed.
but then after that, like when we figured it out, business. Everybody started surfing once they opened the beaches again.
Okay. So have you seen in the lineup more guys in the water and gals?
Oh, for sure. Especially like
That's nuts, right?
especially during the week.
Yeah.
Especially like at spots where normally like, it's more South O, like and the waves were actually pretty good during that whole
They were. Yeah.
COVID, like the beginning, like from like April to like October. I feel like it was like there's a lot of good swells.
Yeah, it's hard to remember back then, but yeah, it was good. What about the 2-week period where everything was shut down?
Oh, like no surfing, no.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was weird. I don't
Did you
remember.
sneak out at all?
I didn't. I saw.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
I remember like riding my bike, like going to Anita's. They had to go drinks. Like got a margarita, went down to the rock and was like watching, and like I saw a couple guys paddle out like 20 minutes before dark.
Sneaking one in.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to see from the road, so I think I didn't see anybody really at the pier or anything. But I didn't. It was honestly probably wasn't that good to be worth it.
To get busted?
Yeah. I'm also not very, like, super daring person when it comes to the law, so I probably, didn't really go for it, but luckily that didn't last that long, so.
Yeah, that's rad, though. So John's daughter shows up, talks to you in a conversation, and all of a sudden you're here.
Yeah, it was.
That's rad. That's like meant to be almost.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of funny, but it worked out.
What about any good surf stories in Hawaii? Anything funny ever happened or crazy in the water? Or even going to the water?
I mean, I never really got like punked or anything. I mean, a couple of times, and I'm guessing I was younger, but I do have a pretty good shark story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah. So like between like Sandy Beach and Waikiki, it's a pretty long stretch of coast along the south side that has a lot of outer reefs.
Okay.
So you have to paddle quite a ways to get out to where the waves are breaking.
Okay.
And there's this one spot called Aina Haina, and we paddled out there. It was like a super glassy day, kind of small, but we were just cruising, surfing, and I was like laying back in the water, just like waiting for a wave, just like relaxing, and then like my friend like points out behind me, and then I look around, and like I'd never seen like a fin like that before in real life. It was probably like as big as my arm.
Wow.
And the only type of sharks over there really that are that big are tiger sharks. So it's kind of yeah. And then randomly, like a buddy of ours like paddled up on a kayak. So we had like 5 people on a kayak, just like cruising there,
all hanging on there,
waiting for this thing to leave, and it was cruising around for a while. It was probably one of the more scary moments of my life. But,
so what were you guys saying to each other?
well, like it's like we're way out in the water. Like,
yeah, so you ain't leaving.
Yeah, but luckily it's not like super deep. But so we could have like paddled more towards the reef where it's shallow, but it never gets like completely shallow
Dry.
enough to where like because the shark could
He's still in the water.
Yeah.
He's at home.
So I mean, luckily we were on the kayak, and we eventually just hopped off and surfed for a little longer.
Oh, so you just kept surfing after
Yeah, I don't know what really we were thinking.
How
but
old are you then?
I was in college, so
Okay.
like 20.
Yeah,
20.
You're old enough to know better.
Yeah, and
I think I was up to out of there. But then again, you don't want to paddle in.
No.
Because that dude could be hanging out over
yeah,
there.
and that's the thing. Like the more you paddle in, the deeper it gets. Like,
yeah.
So it's like you have this outside reef, but then you have like this channel. So yeah, that's the whole.
So you had to hang out, kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't like an easy decision to just paddle in.
Right. Did you guys all paddle in together?
Yeah, for sure.
One of you guys go down,
Yeah,
and just 4 of you left.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What about you got a favorite surfer? Like, are you watching WSL or anything? Are you watching contests?
It's pretty big around the job.
Okay, you guys have them on the TV, like
Yeah,
right
the break room TV.
Sick.
If it's on,
and I'm gonna guess who the favorite surfer is. By the way.
if it's on, I'll like have it on one screen, be working on the other.
Okay.
We have like a fantasy group in the. Yeah, it's definitely like when it's on, it's on.
Are you guys talking smack to each other? Like your guys out?
Not so much, but Because we're
gentlemanly?
kind of like always rooting for John.
Right. Okay, that's what I was figuring.
Or Jack Freestone or Tyler Wright. They're all our riders on tour.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're definitely pretty into it.
John just got injured, I think.
Yeah, not
They pull him
really
out?
too sure. I know it's not the same knee that he hurt before, but with the Olympics coming around, I think he's taking precautions.
Yeah, I don't blame him on that.
Yeah, but
Not that you're speaking on behalf of him.
yeah, the crazy thing is that even when he was hurt this last time, like he's still so popular. Like he still sells surfboards.
Why do you think that is? You don't have to speak on that if you don't want.
Yeah, he's probably
He's just a humble guy, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely not outwardly cocky or, definitely a good representation of the company.
What about localism in Hawaii?
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
You kind of said you got punked a little bit, but not really much.
Yeah, not really that much. Probably because I was more timid to begin with.
Okay.
But I also probably didn't really put off any threatening vibes.
All right. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I was
You weren't being aggressive out in the water?
I was a pretty small kid.
Okay.
Looked a lot younger than I actually was.
But you still wanted your waves?
Yeah, for sure. And that would probably depend on where I was surfing.
Okay.
But not. I mean, yeah, there is localism there, but honestly, I've experienced worse localism in San Diego.
All right. Tell us about that.
I mean.
Okay. So, would you ever get any like stink eye when you were in San Diego, like Point Loma?
Yeah, there's a couple
Just
times.
they didn't recognize you. They knew you went to school there, probably.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
And so that's kind of like a red flag. Like
certain spots they'd know you weren't from there, but if you could surf and you didn't really give attitude, most of the time, you get away with it. But if you were like paddling straight out to the peak and taking all the waves, they definitely would.
That's anywhere though, right?
Yeah, for sure. But then there'd be spots like, have you ever surfed a Mission Jetty, South Jetty?
Yeah, it's a joke.
I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I was like not even sitting.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should. We'll just let it go.
But I mean, that is like compared to the other wave, which is actually like a lot better wave and just like localism. Like if you respect people, generally they respect you.
Right, and you're not just being a Barney out there.
But in Mission Beach Jetty, there's sitting on like not even the outside on the shoulder. They just didn't do anything. Start calling you out. I was like, I didn't go in, but
it's not even that good of a wave.
Yeah, and they weren't even good surfers either. So I was like,
okay, that's what I'm saying. All right,
yeah,
we can talk. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wave sucks for the most part.
Yeah, I mean it does have its days.
And I don't think those guys grew up there.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm guessing most of those guys have lived there for 5 years.
Well,
They're transplants.
It's pretty. It's
not
pretty,
all of them. If you
it's
guys
pretty
are
hard
this.
to live in like that tight of like a area.
Yeah.
So
you're probably a college student, like a graduate, maybe.
I couldn't live there for more than a couple of years if I did. Like I get over it, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a joke most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I don't need to harass over, but it's not that good of a wave.
Yeah, but
I've seen them
funny.
yelling at kids, like my kid actually.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you guys are kooks.
Yeah, it's definitely not warranted, but oh well.
Yeah,
you have some of those people.
I guess. I'm kind of glad we talked about it. It's not the first time we've talked about that place.
Yeah, it's a funny
I probably
place.
won't paddle out there anyhow.
No.
Okay, so what about trips? You get to go on any trips or anything? Have you traveled?
Yeah, I mean, I've surfed in Oregon.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It's cold. It's not as cold as you think.
No,
but I drove.
It's in the 50s, right?
Yeah,
kind of like Santa Cruz.
I drove from Oceanside to
Where'd you surf there?
In Oregon?
Yeah.
Near Cannon Beach.
Okay, way up north.
Yeah, way up north. And then I also surfed in like along the way, like Steamer Lane and stuff, which I'd never surfed before.
What did you think of steamers?
The most paddling I've ever done in my life.
Was it big?
Yeah.
It was big steamers?
Yeah, it's a fun wave, like really rolly and like do big turns, but it's a lot of paddling. I would have had like a lot bigger of a board.
Oh, really?
But
was it one day there or was it a few days there?
It was one day.
Okay.
And
you haven't been back since?
I have not.
Dude, Santa Cruz is a rad town.
It is rad.
Did you surf Pleasure Point at all or look at it?
No, but I had a roommate who is from Pleasure Point.
Okay.
So I've heard all about it.
Wave.
Yeah, it looked more my style.
Yeah,
I actually went up there for work for Pyzel. We did a demo.
Oh yeah.
But the waves were very small.
Okay.
And I was working the demo, so I didn't even get to surf.
Bummer.
But yeah, I'd like to go back up there.
Yeah, Oregon's kind of. So we've been up to like Pacific City, which is kind of, I don't know, maybe like 80 miles south, and it was pumping.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little scary, but other than that, I go to Mexico quite often.
Okay.
Mainly just northern Baja.
Yeah.
And then I've been to Indo, and that's it.
How was Indo?
It was sick.
Would you go back?
I'm going in November.
Nice.
Yeah. Was supposed to go in June, but things changed, so.
You want to say where you surfed there?
I went on a boat trip, went to the Mentawais.
Okay. Now, how does that compare to Hawaii? Reef-wise and all that?
It's
Or
a little
doesn't?
It's a little different. Like the water is a lot warmer.
Okay.
And the reef is, there's a lot of, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
They're kind of two tropical paradises.
They
different,
are,
right?
but like the lot of the islands that you're surfing on the Ments are a lot different, and the way the swells wrap around the islands are different. But same kind of vibe. Yeah, I imagine it kind of being like that back in the day more.
Okay.
But they are different. But it's very nice surfing in board shorts.
Yeah, that's what you miss about living here. Or living here, that's what you miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are your plans to stay here for the rest of your life, or are you going to go back to Hawaii? What do you think? As a young man now, or middle-aged.
Yeah, I would love to go back someday.
To live?
Yeah, I could, but I'm definitely not like trying to get away from here.
Okay.
But yeah.
Just like to compare the two. 'Cause
Yeah.
They're so different.
Yeah, I think there's more to do here on a broad scale.
Yeah.
Like you can go snowboard, you can go to the desert, you can drive to Oregon.
Yeah. You can go East Coast if you need to.
Yeah, I never got island fever living in Hawaii, but there is a sense of not being able to do everything.
So, okay, let's talk about island fever.
Yeah.
Do you know people that have actually had it?
Yeah.
Are they people that moved to the island, or are they locals that live there?
Yeah, I think some people who move there don't realize
Get a reality check?
Yeah, but then a lot of people who do live there who might not like surf or do all those kind of water activities might get it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't, and I know a lot of people who live there still who don't. But
No intentions of leaving there.
yeah, no.
Actually, that's a good point. How many guys are surfing out there?
In Hawaii?
Yeah, pretty much everyone surfs, right?
Yeah,
At some point.
a lot. I think there's
Compared to here, let's say compared to Southern California.
I want to say there's more people who surf up here, but
Really?
just because there's more people. Because San Diego County itself has like almost more people than the whole state of Hawaii.
Okay, so I just thought of this, and we're just going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at McDonald's in line. Okay,
Yeah.
or wherever you're.
Yeah.
The local restaurant. You're
Yeah.
in South O, whatever. No one's surfing that's in line with you hardly.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would feel in Hawaii, in that same line, you're going to have several guys that surf.
Yeah, you can kind of tell too, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
If you're in a drive-through, you'd see the truck with the longboard out the back, or
Or a sticker.
but it's also like everybody's
Pyzel sticker. Or
everybody's
whatever.
wearing board shorts, everybody's wearing slippers.
In Hawaii?
Yeah. So like you can kind
So they
of.
kind of all blend together?
Yeah.
Even the everyday people that don't surf?
I mean, you could probably pull them out, but I mean, I'd say like everybody on the North Shore, like who lives up there, like I'd say, definitely over half of them are up there just because they surf.
Yeah.
So
And then what about wave pools? You ever been to a wave pool?
I've been to Slater's. I haven't surfed it.
Oh, all right. So what it looked like?
Is-
Since I've never seen it in real life either.
It wasn't that great to like watch like the event.
Okay, so you're there in the WSL?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it was like cool, like to see.
Did you want to surf it?
Oh yeah, I was like, it's probably way better to surf it than it is to watch it.
Okay.
I would surf it all day.
Yeah.
But-
if you can afford it, probably.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna try to go to Waco this summer.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
You guys by yourself or with a team?
we've talked about doing a team trip, but it's kind of hard because if everybody leaves,
that's true.
if
Yeah, no one
everybody
knows
leaves, then no one's
the
working.
production's done.
Yeah, so that's another story in itself. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go to Waco.
And then what about like, I seen your Instagram. You're pretty active on Instagram.
Yeah.
You got some good waves on there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more of an underground guy, or do you like the exposure? Do you like Instagram?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Are you just showing? Yeah, you tell me.
if I'm stoked on it, I'm gonna put it out there.
Okay,
For sure.
So you want everyone to see, like,
Yeah.
Is it more like, dude, I got the raddest wave?
Yeah, a lot of it's that I'm just stoked on it, but then like also a lot of times like we're either like trying boards or.
Okay.
But a lot of
So
it's,
it relates to work also.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like just like posting work related stuff, like maybe like a team rider like got a wave or won a contest or.
Okay.
But a lot of my Instagram is probably based on just the work stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Your work though is your lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's kind of rad.
It coincides.
Yeah.
Like I like to associate myself with my job as like a job is part of me, and yeah, so it's definitely a lot of it is work.
So let's say I think you said your dad sold hardware or something.
Yeah.
Would you feel the same way if you're doing that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. But yeah, so it's definitely part of my life.
All right. What kind of boards are you riding besides Pyzel, like shape wise?
I mean, I'm not riding like that's stock standard like high performance shortboard all the time. Mainly, it's a lot of fun shapes, a lot of
All
some like,
Pyzels, right?
yeah,
Okay.
a lot of high performance fishes, a lot of
Twin fins or?
yeah, like 2+1s.
Oh, okay. A little trailer.
A lot of like we have a pretty broad range of fun models that work in California all the time. So
Okay. So your quiver is pretty good, or do you just take them from work and test
my
them?
quiver is pretty good, but I do have the benefit of trying and testing boards.
Okay. And you give your feedback back?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, but I'm not like super like critical on.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm on that type of level where I need to give
Gotcha.
feet. Like most of the time, it's like it's probably just me. But
Or the boards are just working and there's
yeah,
magic.
no, yeah, the boards definitely do work.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, we talked about WSL. What about like surf movies? Did you ever watch those as a kid?
Yeah, I think
Or because of Instagram, do you think that ruined the surf movie?
I think social media and like phones in general kind of ruin attention spans.
Yeah.
So
I
like
agree.
if you're scrolling through, like you can watch like a 1 minute, and even nowadays sometimes 1 minute is like oh, on to the next. But I definitely do have a respect for the surf movies. Like I think Endless Summer was the first one I watched,
Okay.
and then Endless Summer 2 was like my favorite movie at that time.
That was before Instagram and stuff, though.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's still a lot of good. The best surf movies I liked are still before I had Instagram. But yeah, like September Sessions, Broke Down Melody, a lot of those Jack Johnson movies. Yeah.
Did you ever see Jack Johnson on the island?
Yeah, I mean he lives kind of in like near Rocky Point and stuff.
Yeah.
I see him in the lineup every now and then.
Is he ripping?
Yeah, they all surf. He has a couple brothers. They all surf really good.
Yeah. All right. And what about biggest wave in Hawaii? Did you ever go Waimea or anything?
I never surfed actual like when it's big Waimea, but
Yeah.
I've surfed pinballs.
Okay.
You get pretty big there too, but I think the biggest I've ever surfed is that wave rock piles.
Okay.
It's like right outside log cabins. I paddled out on a board that was way too small because the waves didn't look as big as they really were.
Yeah, how's that paddling out like an outer reef
Yeah, it's a little gnarly.
and being like underground?
Yeah, it's scary. Like there's guys. I'm like,
So can you just paddle back in, or you got to catch a wave?
you could paddle back in, but it's sketchy. Like yeah, there's some shore break and stuff like that.
So
Still,
you've already got through that. So.
I definitely got lucky, but it was I was like in college then too.
Okay.
But no, I'm not like surfing big waves.
And then motivations for surfing. Do you have any, or is it just what you've been doing your whole life and you love it?
Yeah, I guess it's just that feeling.
Okay.
The feeling that you don't always get every session, but when you do, you're like, oh, that's why I do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even on shitty days?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the shitty days definitely. It's all perspective. Like you
Right.
could go out on a shitty day, and have a great time. But if you're already in a bad mood, it's probably not going to help. But most of the time,
you make the best out of the situation.
yeah, if you're not expecting...
You're right. Yeah, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of already windy and 1 foot.
But also, I grew up surfing like the wind slop.
Yeah.
So like part of me's gotten jaded, but part of me is still like, you know what? Like, we used to get stoked on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
especially if it's close to home.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think you'd be if you didn't surf? Selling hardware?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was pretty active when I was a kid, so maybe some other sport or something, but
okay.
I like to play golf.
Okay, and then, you do like golf?
Yeah.
All right. I don't get the golf thing, but okay.
Yeah, I've been golfing.
A lot of people have been golfing.
Since COVID, too, I've been golfing a lot more.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
And why is that?
Mainly probably because, like, just
fun?
like, yeah, if you're surfing, like, I mean, like, restaurants and stuff were closed, bars were closed.
Yeah, okay,
like,
I see that.
Yeah,
I was thinking you were pulling up to the beach. You're like, dude, it's so crowded, it ain't worth it. I'm gonna go golf.
I mean, like, golf courses were almost as bad as the.
Yeah, it's true.
Probably as a lineup.
Oh, I bet.
Like, you couldn't.
I don't golf, so I don't know.
You couldn't book a tee time on a Tuesday at 12:00.
Oh my god! Yeah, I didn't think about that. But, all right. And then, do you want to share your Instagram handle?
Yeah, it's a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to read it off the bat, but it's
you can spell it then.
Uncle Tej, UNKOTEEJ. Yeah. Right
on. And any final words from TJ?
Yeah. Buy local surfboards.
That's good words, actually.
Support the Oceanside surfboard industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the QuiverCast. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. And everybody, this is Mike at QuiverCast. Thank you all for joining us. Adios. Later. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week. If you liked the episode, hit subscribe, give us 5 stars, or leave a review. Like us on Instagram, quiver_cast. Music brought to you by Barry Snyder, Punk Rock Grandpa. You guys all have a good week, and I'll see you in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.